Hello guys and welcome to the FMSCOUT YouTube channel. My name is Steve or Hood Gaming and I am here today as one of the new specialists on the FMSCOUT YouTube channel. My speciality, lower league management. So what we're going to be covering today is my top 10 tips for your lower league management save to help make things easier for you. If you are new around here, don't forget to drop a like on today's video, subscribe to the FMSCOUT YouTube channel and make sure you ring that bell so that you're told every time the channel uploads. But without any further ado, let's get into tip number one. So then guys, my first tip for you is to get team/loan reports on high elite level teams from good clubs in your country. Regardless of whatever division you're working in, you will have teams in a higher division than you. I'm basing this primarily off of loads of people wanting to work in England, so that's why I'm at Manchester United right now. My first tip is, as I said, getting team reports on these teams. Now what I usually do is as you can see here, I'm currently in the Manchester United under 23s. Now what you can do guys is you can get a team report on this under 23s. What I usually do is I go onto team reports, go onto overview and then get team report. As you can see here, it pops up. My scout will compile a team report on Manchester United under 23s. Additionally, he may also suggest players available for loan from the club into the scouting center. So I'm going to click yes on that. And as you can see, once you advance a couple of days, guys, that will end up in your scouting center. And you can see not only the players who are available, but also the ones who may well want to join on loan. I personally usually do this for the top two divisions if I'm much further down. So for instance, in my saves, I usually start in the Conference South or lower. So I usually kind of do all of the Premier League teams and all of the Championship teams as well. And this also helps at the end of the season when all of the players that have not been renewed their contracts by these big clubs become free agents. You know about them first and you are able to sign them ASAP as soon as you are able to speak to them. Building on tip number one, guys, we are going with tip number two, which is do not pay for players. As you can see here, I'm just in the scouting section and I will be making a new scout search, and under the contract status in the top right of the window, I will be saying expired. Now what you can do here, this lists everybody who does not currently have a club, and as you can see, there's 838 players here. Obviously you can filter this by position and by need, so if you need a striker, make sure you select a striker. It brings up all the strikers. Pretty simple. But if you couple this with tip number one, all these big high profile players who are at elite level clubs, when their contracts don't get renewed at the end of the season, one, because of tip number one, you know about them earlier, and two, you don't have to pay a penny for them other than their wages, guys. It's a massive tip. I don't start buying players in my lower league saves until I'm probably going into the top division within whatever country I'm managing in. Tip number three from me is that trials are your friends. Obviously you can go on this and you can scout these players. If you go into them and you can say reports, I would like a scout report, or if you're using the skin I'm using, you just click scout report here. Now as you can see, this is going away. We are getting a scout report on this player. However, what you don't know is you don't understand how long this takes. And when you're at a lower level club and you've only got one or two scouts, if you're lucky to have two scouts, it still does take a very long time. So what I personally prefer to do is if I see someone who I like the look of, or there's someone who I'd like to bring in, obviously I'm playing with attribute masking on here, so I know nothing about this striker here. What I can do is go onto the transfer tab, offer them a trial, get them in. I usually go for 2 weeks as a duration of my trials. Say yes, they end up at your club and you figure out all about them much quicker, guys. You can see if they fit your team, they fit your play style, you learn all the traits about them. It's just, don't underestimate trials, guys. They're just one of the most important things for lower league management. Tip number four from me then is to value current ability over potential ability. Now, we're all guilty of being caught up in wanting that next level wonder kid who's going to either lead your team to glory or you're going to be able to sell them for multi-million pounds. However, when you're in the lower leagues, promotion is the most important thing. So as you can see here, I've got a player selected. His current ability is 2.5 stars. He does have a potential ability of basically 5 stars or potentially 5 stars. You don't really know fully because that start is not fully filled in because he's under the age of 21. However, is he good enough to be in my starting 11? Is he good enough to play central midfield for me? At the moment, I don't think he is, guys. So make sure you take a look at current ability, definitely over potential ability. You want the players that you're bringing into the club to be able to do a job for you right away. You don't want to be waiting season after season for them to maybe reach their potential. Building on that, we have tip number 5, and that is to always offer shorter term contracts. Now, I've started a save here with Bath City, so they are semi-professional, so obviously the length of contract is only a single year each time. However, what I've done is I've brought up their top player here, Tom Smith. As you can see, he has a current ability of 4 stars with a potential ability of 4.5 stars. And you may think, great, he's our best player. He's got that model citizen personality as well, which is an added bonus. But what I look at, is he going to do a job in the Vanarama National League South? Yes, almost definitely. Is he going to do a good job in League 2 when hopefully you make it there in 2 years' time? I don't think he is. I think there's going to be much better players out there by the time you get to that level. So if I were a professional club, would I offer him a 2-year deal? No, probably not. I'd probably only offer him a single-year contract each time. And then when he gets to the sort of ceiling, his ceiling, that's when you let him go. Obviously, there's certain aspects that mean you may keep them in longer, like this guy with his model citizen personality. It definitely helps for mentoring groups, but would he be an elite central midfielder in League 2? I don't think so. Single year contracts are the way to go with players like this, and then you don't get tied down into having that player and not being able to play them. They're expecting to be a star player, and by the time you're in League 2, you're not giving them any minutes. They're going to be disgruntled, they're going to be unhappy, they're going to affect your team dynamic, guys. So make sure you keep people on very short-term contracts. Next up on my list is versatility is king. As you can see here, I've pulled up Lewis Tomlinson at Bath City. He's currently on loan from Bristol Rovers, and he is one of the most versatile players in this Bath City squad. Is he the best technically, mentally, physically? No, probably not. But he is a natural at attacking midfield left, centre and attacking midfield right, which obviously opens up the versatility aspect. Whilst you're in the lower leagues, you're not going to be wanting to pay players for individual positions, and the fact that Lewis Tomlinson can come in this role and play in any of those 3 positions, which are key positions in Football Manager this year and in football in real life, versatility is key, guys. So the fact that he can play in those 3 is fantastic. Try and find yourself maybe a right back who can play right wing back as well, or even better, a centre back who can play right or left back. Just fantastic. Versatility offers you the ability to be flexible in your squad, be flexible in the formations that you're picking, and also give you that squad depth without breaking the bank. I briefly mentioned tactics in the last point, and I'm going to mention tactics again here. Make sure you are always training 3 tactics. As you can see here, you have the 3 setups, 3 different formations. As you can see, I've got 3 different shapes here. What I usually try and do is in my Pentagon save, I'm currently using this with a team over in Brazil. This is the shape that we start the game with, right? It's a little bit attacking, but we have a lot of the ball, so it is quite interesting to see. Also, fullbacks, not necessarily the best this year. So we've got a 3-4-1-2, as you can see here. Works very well. However, towards the end of the game, when you want to close out things, I've got this setup, which I've used on stream. I also used during the beta period. This is definitely more solid and more traditional sort of formation that you would be like to see. So what I usually do is I make sure that I've got all 3 of these trains. So the third one, is just a park the bus. You're not going to score against me. All of my men are behind the ball. I've got 1 forward up front, and then we try and close out the game that way. Obviously, this is my primary tactic, which we do play for a large portion of the game over in Brazil with Guarani FC. But it is vital to have all 3 of these trains. So obviously make sure you do have different options, different things that you can switch to in game to add flexibility. Do you want an option to park the bus like I have? Do you want to have a go all right sort of option and throw as many men forward as possible that you can just change to in game with a click of a button? What I will say though, guys, is if you go into the training here, you can see that the primary trained tactic is one of your 3 formations. Make sure you pick your primary one, so that, for instance, that is my primary one, the middle one. So we will make sure that that is the primary tactic that we are covering in training to get the most familiarity with that specific tactic. Tip number 8 is to try and get yourself a senior affiliate. As you can see, I'm here on the page with Versatility. They have senior affiliates of Bristol City and Lecco in Italy. So this is beneficial in 2 ways. Obviously, if we go into the squad, you can see here that we've already got Freddie Hines on loan from Bristol City. We're not paying, we're paying £350 of his wages until the end of, when's this? End of January 2021. So we've got him on loan for a little spell here, and he can play in cup matches, which is fantastic. Also, you can see here James Taylor, also on loan from Bristol City. We're only paying £180 of his wages until the end of the season. This is made possible by having a senior affiliate. I swear by having senior affiliates, and there's 2 main reasons for that. Obviously, you can get people in on loan, but also they add to your scouting knowledge as well. So if we go into scouting and we go to knowledge, as you can see here, we've got a pretty good understanding of Italy because of our partnership with Lecco. This obviously plays into the fact that all the free agents that you are then able to see because of your scouting knowledge will be boosted by the fact that you have Italy covered, so more Italians will show up for you. The same goes for Mali, Thailand, France, Northern Ireland, Portugal, and Republic of Ireland. We get some affiliate knowledge of these because of Bristol City and our partnership with them. So what you do to get a senior affiliate, guys, if you go into your club vision, as you can see here, go on to make a board request, go into networking, and then ask for a senior affiliate here. My penultimate tip is to always be improving your staff. This is something I stress. This is something I do year on year. Always try and improve your staff, guys. If we look at things here, do we have the best staff in the division? Not at all. Do we have anyone? We have the worst attacking coaching in the division, guys. So always make sure that you're improving your staff, regardless of whether you're coming in at the bottom. This is a tip for even if you're coming in and you're managing one of the elite clubs in whatever country you want to manage in. Always make sure you have the best staff. And it doesn't end here, guys. Even if you hit this line here, this yellow line, saying that you have the highest average in your division, does that mean you have the best coaching? Kind of, yes. But does that mean that they're doing the best things on the training pitch? Not necessarily. So if you go into training and you go on to coaches, as you can see here, this is the star rating assigned to all of my coaches and myself here. If we edit the coach assignments, as you can see, I'm built in here. So is my assistant manager, my goalkeeping coach, and my fitness coach. As you can see, guys, we're not very good at anything really. We're actually quite good in goalkeeping, actually. 2 stars at the non-National League South level is very good. Everything else, a little bit ropey, guys. So always make sure you're using your staff to your best benefit. Make sure that you're trying to achieve as many high stars in these categories as humanly possible. What I will also say, guys, is if you do have a under 23 squad, let me go back into the staff tab. Then if we go into the under 23 staff, we also have an under 23s manager who will filter into you being able to use them as well, guys. So make sure you don't neglect your under 23s and youth teams as well. And the final tip from me is don't stress over finances. At the lower leagues, you can sort of start hemorrhaging money slowly, even if it is by a couple of £100 a week. But what I will say, guys, is if you're performing on the pitch, it doesn't usually matter. If you get promoted at the end of the season, there's not many board of directors that will sack you if you've been promoted just because you've not adhered to the wage budget. Additionally, if you also have a nice little cup run, you can find yourselves bumped up all the way and totally wipe out that debt, guys. So whilst it is irritating to see this wage budget in the red, don't take it to heart. Don't be too concerned by it. Make sure that you're sort of trying to achieve success on the pitch, and it's not as big a deal if you were a massive club, guys. The finances do matter, don't get me wrong. Obviously it all feeds into the amount of money that you can spend, but don't take it too hard. It's not the end of the world. As long as you're achieving success on the pitch, guys, I think you will be absolutely fine. So then, guys, there you have it. That is my top 10 tips for lower league management. If you have found this video useful, don't forget to drop it into the comments and let us know if there is anything that you have learned from today's video. I'll be in there, as will the guys from the FM Scout team, so answer any questions that you may have. If you do like what you've seen here and you want to see it in practice, jump on over to my channel, Hook Gaming UK. The link will be in the description. You can see these tips being used for yourself in my Pentagon save. But that is all I'm going to say for now, guys. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe to the FM Scout YouTube channel. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time.